Namaste, beautiful friends. This is Elle with Sacred Union Spiritual Wellness, a channel dedicated to uplifting and enhancing your spiritual well-being. Welcome to my channel. I'm Elle, and I am a spiritual life coach, tarot reader, professional organizer, and life coach. So I try to dovetail all of these things together to bring you something unique and something positive to help you uplift and enhance your spiritual, physical, emotional well-being. So we're going to get started with today's reading, but I want to talk about the transits. So if you have a cup of coffee, you may want to grab it because this is a big one. This is Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. So this is like emotional excavation. This is the themes are like power, control, shadow. Oh, so it's not the most pleasant energy, but it's necessary. I know I'm dealt with a lot of shadow energy, and you think you come out on the other side, and then Pluto retrogrades in Aquarius, and then you get to even dig deeper. So just think you're digging deeper. Now, for symbology today, I just feel like digging in the dirt, digging in the soil would be very positive and aligned. Like if you garden or if you just want to plant a plant, it's just something about digging, but then having this positive outcome of either herbs or food or blossoms, something that's going to be uplifting. That could help you work through the energies today. Give your hands something to do. You can expect some buried emotions, some let's see, patterns or truths. Yesterday it was the intuitive truth bomb. That was because Mercury or Pluto was beginning that to station, so it's kind of slowed down its energy. So it's going to feel, I'm getting the words excruciating, but in a positive way, if excruciating can be positive in any sort of way. Simple pleasures. I like that. Oh, look, there's two. So in this card, this could be this could be just spending time with somebody meaningful to you, having a drink, a smoothie, a cup of coffee. I'm about to have a meeting with a friend over Google Meets, and we're just going to have coffee and talk because we live so far away from each other. But connect with somebody, but also be ready to maybe process through something that's been lingering, maybe in the connection for a while. But make this kind of a casual, not a stressful or intense dynamic today with this situation. So again, I do get the image of somebody digging, planting food, planting a garden, just planting a plant in a pot. I'm seeing blueberries, just something that is going to give you a positive outcome. So then when it blooms, you can say, you know what, or when it fruits or whatever, wow, I made it through that retrograde. So another one is stay curious. Ask questions, question the energy, question what it is that's lingering. Maybe in your meditation today, question what is it I need to bring to the surface? What truth do I need to see? But be proactive in your curiosity so that you are sending a sign to the universe that you're open and receptive to be able to deal with this. It actually will have a positive outcome. All right, let's do our sacred self-care. I'll pull from the Sacred Self-Care deck. Self-care is important. It is a part of your self-worth, but it also helps to take care of your mind, body, and spirit. Burning bowl ritual, that's a number 7. Might be something we do at the end of this reading. Write down something that you want to excavate or you want to process. Maybe something that's lingering that you haven't been able to really deal with overtly. Maybe it's time to ask for the excavation, to ask for that stuff. Even as hard as it is, maybe it's time to just finally deal with it. Spend time with friends. Now we have 2 cards of spending time with friends. So this is a great day that is obviously emphasized. I'm going to put it over here, but that is something that we want to work through today. Friendships, connections, make them positive. Like I said, have a cup of coffee, call somebody that you haven't spoken to in a while. That friend that's just kind of dropped off. I saw the 3 of Cups. That's definitely, connection, getting with some friends, community. But this is not something in isolation. I'm getting not. Maybe community gardening, if you want to, synthesize some of the things we've already talked about. All right, let's see what the Light Seers Tarot comes through. For more specific information comes out. That's the 7 of Cups. We have 2 7s now. think carefully. Think, make your choices carefully. I just, but it's in the challenge position, so there may be some confusion. I feel like there's a scheduling mix-up. Okay, Knight of Wands. I like that card. That's a celebratory card. It's all about positivity. With the Seven of Wands, that's can be Leo energy. Seven of Cups can be Scorpio energy. How suitable is that? Oh, there's the Three of Cups. Decided to come out. And the High Priestess. Again, two cards of celebratory energy. The High Priestess is connect to that intuition, connect to your higher self. When you're communicating with your friends, try and do some from a higher perspective. So that High Priestess is moon energy, but it is about awareness, intuition, but it also is about connectedness. So all of our cards here, with the exception of the Seven of Cups, is informing the energy of connectedness. You know, spend time with friends. That's a great date. I had lunch with a friend that I've known since I was 7, and you all know my age, so you know how long that's been. We grew up together, and we had a delightful lunch. Nine of Pentacles. Now, that's a solitude card for me, but it also could be, it's sovereignty. To me, the energy that I'm getting is, don't be influenced today. Stand in your sovereignty. Stand in your truth. Don't be influenced. I want to see the bottom of the deck. Knight of Wands. Feels like it's a fast-paced day, even though Pluto is slowing down and going station retrograde. I just feel like the movement is fast, and I've noticed that. In fact, that came up in a conversation yesterday. I can't get that last card up. It was about how fast things go, and I don't know if it's just as I get older, but it feels like the timelines are really speeding up. All right, let's get a mindfulness moment, thought of the day. And then we're going to pull our Raise Your Vibration with Organization if you want to start to restructure your life physically in your physical environment to align your environment as a soul sanctuary so that you can uplift your spiritual well-being through making your environment positive, and it helps to regulate your nervous system, just like breath work. But let's see what our mindfulness moment. Switch off your phone and avoid any screen time for an evening, day, or weekend. Rest is not idleness, but the silent symphony of rejuvenation. There's rest and balance, and that was the card that was on the table that I couldn't pick up, and I still can't pick up. There we go. Rest and balance. We saw that card yesterday. So again, if you're going to rest, turn off your phone. This is not a scrolling rest session. It is a turn off your phone and meditate type of rest session, or sleep rest session. So two good suggestions for today. I know I need a little bit of rest. It's been a very hectic week. I've got another card that wants to stay on the deck. Not even. Okay, I'll take a look at that. All right, let's see what comes through for your Raise Your Vibration through organization. Just a little organizational challenge today to help you restructure your environment, create a calm, cohesive environment to support your nervous system. I haven't had any coffee today except for the sip that you saw me, and I feel jittery. So, and I'm not a jittery person. All I've had is salt water this morning and a little diatomaceous earth. So that was my first sip of coffee. So the jitteriness is part of the energy. Okay, yay. And then we'll pull this one. Oh, okay, all three, organized to utilize. That is a segment on my other channel, The Organizer Advisor. And this is organizing things in our home, not spaces, but things in our spaces. I call them high frequency use items. But for one is photographs. Now, this is a great way to connect, but you can do your hard copy photographs, your digital photographs. Maybe this is a good thing to sit down with somebody you love or a friend and review some of the old photographs you have. Now, I know a lot of us are digital, I get it, but you can organize those too. So maybe sometime over the next week, start organizing some of your hard copy and digital photographs and review some of those memories. That's a great Pluto activity. So I'm really not surprised this came out. Some little comments that I made: organized by dates and subject. If they're digital, you want to organize them and then back them up. You can, if you have hard copies and you have a storage issue, you can scan to store them and create digital photos so that you can keep them all like on a hard drive and save space. You can create put some in frames, get some of those old frames out and have some of your more special moments framed so that they can help reconnect you to those moments that mean so much to you, or turn them into a canvas. And then another thing that I did with my photographs is I scrapbooked for my children. I created scrapbooks from the time they were born until the time they were 18. Every event, every achievement, every trip, everything was cataloged in those scrapbooks. So there was a lot of photographs that I used there. So that's one idea for you to constructively start to reformat your life. Another one is holiday seasonal. Okay, so I like to organize some of my seasonal stuff in bins so that I can utilize them, but this is a great opportunity to gather some of your stuff and group things together by season or holiday. So if you celebrate specific holidays, like I just did a picnic this weekend and I pulled out a bowl out of my storage, which is actually right behind this cabinet. It's my seasonal storage, and I pulled out this really pretty antique green bowl that I've had forever. And then I realized, you know what, I never use this because it's not with my spring seasonal stuff. And I thought, you know what, this would be so pretty to use on my spring table as part of my spring decor. So I actually set it aside and I'm putting it in my spring seasonal bin. But go through your home and look at things. Another example is I have some cobalt blue glass flowers. Got them at a garage sale years and years and years ago because I'm a junk gypsy. I thrift everything. Everything in my life is from a thrift store, a side of the road find, or Craigslist or Marketplace or Restore. Anyway, so I found these pretty cobalt blue glass flowers. They were just unique and unusual. And then I put them away and I just didn't know what to do with them. And then when I was using my vases, which is one of the things that we organized to utilize, I got all my vases out and I went to the grocery store and I got some very inexpensive flowers and arranged them. But I had one arrangement that was just red and white. It was red roses and white carnations. And then I thought, you know what, I could put a couple of those blue flowers in there and make it patriotic for the 200 and those blue flowers. And they're beautiful. I'll see if I can post a picture here. But I was like, now I need to put those in my seasonal patriotic bin. And now I'll use them more because they're in that bin and they kind of fit that theme. Anyway, just a suggestion. Pack them carefully, pack your items carefully, organize by holiday or season, and group things together. If you have red vases or white vases, those could be your Valentine ones, or things that you would use on your springtime table, or maybe some things more toward the fall. Look in your home, and some of the things that you might be living with every day would be more suitable if you put them in a holiday bin. Okay, the next one is lamps, lights, and shades. Now, this is important because, especially if you have puppies or have had puppies, go ahead and check the cords on your lamps. Look at your lamps, make sure that they're emitting the right kind of light. You want bright light, but sometimes you want little subdued ambiance lights. But it's important to check the cords and the plugs because if you've ever had a puppy or even a kitten, they chew on those cords. You want to make sure those cords are not frayed. Also, if you had maybe one of them slipped under a rug and the friction wore the coating off, you just want to double check. So what I do is I just take a clean rag and I put a little bit, I use Listerine spray. Check out my video why, it's so amazing. But I use a little bit of Listerine spray on it and then I just wipe the cord. And as I wipe, I'm inspecting. I do this for everything I plug in. It's a great safety protocol to get in the habit of looking and checking your cords periodically. Light bulbs, make sure your light is so that you can see. And so that like especially where you read and do hobbies. And then dust your lampshades. They are definite dust magnets. All right, so that is kind of our organize to raise your vibration through organization. Connect with friends today, do something fun. And speaking of, I need to get off this video because I have a Zoom meeting in 8 minutes with my good friend. So enjoy your day. I hope it's a fabulous day. Remember, this is going to be some intense energy. We just went through a couple of days of that intense energy with those transits we talked about the last 2 days. But this one's going to be another layer of intense energy on top of that. So rest well. Turn off the devices and get some actual rest. Have a wonderful day. I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Please, if you have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell. I would really appreciate that. Thanks so much. Leave me a comment. Can't wait to see you again. Namaste.